everybody, and welcome to another episode of the Danny and Troy Show. And if you have been following us, you will know that we are in the midst of a 7-part series, and this is number 6. So, hey, Danny, how you doing?
Hey, doing good. Can't you tell? I'm doing great.
Great.
And no surprise, we're going to be talking about, how performers utilize their voice. And we've got some pretty simple ways of bringing certain things to your attention, right? Which, before I go off on a rant, we can read them. Actually, I think it's probably better than taking them out of context.
Yeah.
And Troy, you want to do the honors, or should I?
Exactly. No, I'll do it. I'll also jump in with a little background information. If this is the first episode that you're watching, welcome. And we are talking about brand storytelling. This 7-part series is dedicated to helping people define themselves, develop themselves, and display themselves in a business context that tells an interesting and compelling brand story. Where
your story,
targeting it to entrepreneurs and startup founders that perhaps have realized that this area is underutilized or overlooked. And we have gone through a number of different avenues, starting with a monologue, so building a monologue for yourself, coming to an audition where you might want to practice that and present that. Casting is involved, where you will select certain characteristics within yourself and players that you want to emphasize. And we did a really great podcast there about the Divine Madman, which you'll see, as well as Shakespeare coming into every activity kit. And after casting, we did the was it rehearsal?
Yes, sir.
Then we rehearse was the major point that we talked about there. The last one we did was about movement, using movement, and movement not only touching on moving your body, but moving from not having a goal to a goal and achieving certain aspects of your life. And we are now at number 6, which is voice. And that from Danny's experience and skills and development from his theater experience has given us these valuable aspects of the 4 ways to use your voice. Those being number 1, volume; number 2, pitch; number 3, rate; and number 4, timbre. And it's not until you look at it and break it down, for me anyway, that you really understand, there is those aspects. I mean, I've been using my voice for 48, I'm probably not 48 years, but I think I started talking when I was 1, and I was an early talker.
I bet you cried before that, though, didn't you?
Yeah.
Right. And babies are a good example of using their voice. That's a voice. Sure. It doesn't have to be words. It can be screaming. It can be or like I heard in some stand-up comedian who's foreigner trying to understand English, and he says, "How do you spell when you're filling up a cup of coffee and you want to let somebody know it's enough? How do you spell?" That's enough, right?
Right.
Okay, so that's the use of your voice as well. Exactly. And the nice part I enjoy about voice is having some Irish people in my family, is that when we talk about voice, we think about music, right? You can hear it. I did a play in New Orleans with a guy who was writing a musical, and he couldn't sing. And I said, don't think about singing. Just think about the words, right? Because there's music in the words. Right. And then if you write the lyrics, I can tell you the music will come out of the lyrics. The da 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 da, right?
Yes.
It's just that simple. So your voice is a tool, a very good tool. And in that, like in musical scales, you've got different things. I don't understand music very well, even though, okay, I have a background in promoting it. But they're all different ways of adjusting your voice, may I say, right?
Sure.
uh, to emphasize the meaning of the words, the emotion in the words,
Exactly.
it's all vibration, right? And you're in
Mhm.
control of that. But somehow or another, this part up here is what controls it. So we need to know what you're thinking, right? Because the way you're thinking is going to come out in your voice, honey, right? However you want to use that, right?
Mhm.
Down here, I'm in the South right now in North Carolina, and nobody needs to know anybody's name, right?
Okay.
Depending on who it is, when you're talking to somebody else, from the grocery store to the post office, to a home improvement store, everybody has a different attitude, and they use their voice and their choice of words to emphasize that. Thank you, sugar. Hi, babe. Right?
Sure.
Whatever. I mean, you could go on all day long
Well,
talking about how people refer to other people, right?
yeah.
To use their voice to keep it nice and friendly, right? And as you can hear, there's music in it, and music in everybody's voice.
Mhm. Mhm.
Yeah.
So, yeah, how much would you like I have like broken it down and become kind of just aware of these aspects. Of course, I'm aware of volume, I'm aware
Yeah.
of pitch, I'm aware of rate, and I'm aware of timbre. But yeah, I haven't really thought about them. Should I think about them in my voice, or should I let
Not while you're speaking,
right?
unless, of course, you're putting yourself into a laboratory situation.
Well, I can't help that
Then,
because I'm a data scientist.
yeah, yeah. And so you forgive yourself right off. If we're imagery, verbal representation of sensory experience. Yeah, okay. If you want to create an image with someone, which, we do all the time, it's like, there I was, sitting there all alone.
Hmm.
It was blackest night I've ever seen, and you're creating that image in people's minds,
Hmm.
right?
Hmm. Hmm.
And of course, some of the other ones are your diction, how well you speak. I was in a class. I think it was in St. Petersburg in Russia, and we had we were speaking English, and we had some guys. I think they were from like Philadelphia, um, who were in the class, students from abroad, and one of them says like that. And I said, "Nobody understands what you're saying. Come on, man, talk to the people. Talk to them the way they understand it." It's like, what did you say? Well, that's diction, right?
Hmm.
If you want to be understood, speak clearly, right?
Well, yeah,
Speak
you
clearly.
mentioned in the activity kit about Marlon Brando,
Oh,
uh,
yeah.
and yeah, it, I think you don't have to speak clearly, but you have to kind of, and he did it naturally. So yes, what's important is to be natural, and what that's the message I'm getting from you. What you're saying now, you don't have to force yourself. If someone says, "Hey, you're not speaking clearly," then I don't know, screw them. If you're being natural, then that's it, and you can. What came out of Marlon Brando was his natural ability to be.
You got me thinking about Airplane now, if
Okay,
you've seen that movie,
no,
where
please
the two black
explain.
guys are talking to each other and they've got
Uh,
subtitles underneath. It's
sure.
like, right. Okay, wait, the same story here. When I'm talking to my friends here, nobody can understand me. I understand them, but I'm from here, and that helps people understand. What the hell is he saying? Is that English? Yeah,
Yeah,
it is English. Yeah, believe
exactly.
it or not.
Yeah. So I think the point is you will resonate, you will connect, you will bring about emotions depending on how you use your voice. And voice has been, it's like we were talking about this the other day in the last podcast, I believe, as well. Movement and voice. if you don't have movement and you don't have sound, it's like, what's the point of life? And we've been
Mm,
given these gifts as a human
mm,
being, as a body, to be able
mm,
to move, to be able to
mm,
make sounds, and to
mm,
interact. And the beautiful
yeah,
analogy, like you mentioned, the music,
absolutely.
and yeah,
And you see people do it all the time. They're like, here's an integration of voice and movement, right? It's like, what what are you doing? Right? That's
hmm
movement, that's voice, that's intonation, that's sensory experience, because you don't want what's going to happen. You don't want it to happen again.
that's
It's
right.
everything. It's tone, it's imagery, it's syntax, the way I'm speaking, which can be deliberate or not deliberate. And we talked about this too. You make a mistake. Let's say you got the syntax wrong. Okay. The last thing you want to do is let people know you made a mistake, right?
hmm hmm
Don't do that.
Well, yeah,
Let them do the work, right? Just carry on,
this is a
and
great.
it'll work. It may seem odd to begin with, and you can focus on these words and how they affect you. And when you've gotten down to the bone and it's not interesting for you anymore, then go somewhere else. And then eventually, if while you're toying with this, while you're playing with this, play is ultimately important. Then you can go back. You've got it, you understand it, and you don't have to be conscious of it all the
Mhm,
time.
exactly.
Through rehearsal, right? It becomes a part of the character.
Sure.
And you can see already this character, right? This guy, he's hot. It's like, relax, man, just relax. Everything will be fine. You say, right?
It's,
It just becomes natural. The
yeah.
more you use it, you're not going to be Marlon Brando when you get up out of your chair, right?
Well,
Like, what?
nobody is I think wanting to, but I want everybody to be themselves. That's what
Yep,
these kids are
that's it.
defining people, allowing them to define your character and be yourself and develop that in the best ways you possibly can.
Absolutely.
Utilizing these theatrical approaches to business development, tying it into brand story to help you grow your business, to help you tell an interesting and compelling story about you and why you're here and what you have to offer the world. And these are the things that you won't get anywhere else. I haven't seen, we have a unique offering, and it's fun to do.
Yeah,
That's what you said.
yeah, absolutely. We couldn't do it if it wasn't fun. If it's going to just grind you down, uh, who needs that, right?
Yeah, you
So
mentioned improvisation or whatever you said before about making mistakes. That's what you said. There's no mistakes. Now that,
yeah,
yeah, just is a perfect way into introducing our improv nature. And this is
yeah,
something that is coming out as really important. Of course, yeah, the world is a stage, but it's an improv stage. When you walk out the door, you're not sure what's going to happen, but I consider that Shakespearean phrase. And yeah,
yeah.
I didn't mention this, every activity kit is based on Shakespearean. The world is a stage monologue. We will help
What
you,
else?
yeah, guide you through that. And we have influence of the Bhutanese Buddhist culture of the divine madmen. You'll learn a bit more about them when you get into the activity kits. The activity kits and this one, which is now available, it's called Voice, and it's up there on datalogicalservices.com/onstage. So
Easy enough.
exactly, yeah, check it out. We'd love to see people comment and subscribe and give us a thumbs up. Any comments are welcome. And thanks for watching. We'll be back with the
Yep.
seventh and final, which is
Ah,
the performance. And we've got some really great ideas coming up. We're still working out the details, but it won't be long.
Nothing to it. You'll see. Troy's going to be doing the monologue. Ha ha ha. I spilled the beans, Troy.
Yeah, that's it.
Okay,
Right.
great.
Right.
So, lucky 7 on the way. All right. Thank you, Troy. Thank you, people.